You're standing in your closet on a Sunday night holding a blouse you bought 8 months ago, tag still attached, completely forgotten until this exact moment. Your phone buzzes. Bank notification. $42 at the drive-thru. You don't even remember stopping it this morning. You look around your entire apartment with completely different eyes now. The yoga mat still sitting in its original packaging. The air fryer used exactly twice sitting on the counter taking up space you are paying rent for every single month. The skincare products lined up like a pharmacy shelf, half of them barely touched. Each one represents money that should be growing for you, just sitting there collecting dust instead. Here's what nobody tells you about building wealth in America in 2026. It has almost nothing to do with how much you earn and almost everything to do with the rules you follow quietly every single day. I'm Liana, and today I'm giving you the complete money reset, every rule, every habit, every principle that actually builds wealth in real American life right now. No fluff, no theory, just what works. Let's start with the rule that changed everything for me personally. Before any purchase over $100, I write it down and wait 30 days. That item sits on a list completely untouched. If after 30 days I still want it with the same urgency, I buy it. If not, I skip it and I never miss it. A woman named Tamara, a marketing director in Denver earning over $100,000 annually, tracked this for 90 days and added 43 items totaling roughly $3,200. After the waiting period, she purchased only 7 of them for about $640. She prevented herself from spending over $2,500 on things she completely forgot she wanted a month later. Annualized, that single rule protects over $10,000 in annual spending. The reason it works is that every retail system on Earth, every countdown timer, every only 3 left notification, every flash sale, exists specifically to prevent you from doing one thing: waiting. When you wait, your brain shifts from emotional to rational. The dopamine fades. You start asking where this will actually live in your home, whether you already own something that does the same job, and almost every time the honest answer tells you not to buy it. The second rule I live by is cost per use. Total price divided by realistic uses in 12 months. If that number does not come in under $1, I do not buy it. A teacher named Derek in Cleveland spent thousands on a home espresso machine, a mountain bike, and a professional camera kit. The espresso machine used twice a week for 6 months before being abandoned cost roughly $26 per cup. The bike ridden 8 times total cost $275 per ride. Compare that to a quality kitchen knife at $180 used daily, which costs 50 cents per use in year 1 and literal pennies after that. The math destroys impulse purchases faster than any budget app because it forces you to be brutally honest about the version of yourself that actually exists right now, not the aspirational version you imagine becoming after the purchase. If you have never maintained an exercise routine in your life, the home gym equipment will not change that pattern. Run the numbers honestly before you buy, not after. The third rule is simple. If it depreciates, I buy it used. Cars, electronics, furniture, appliances, exercise equipment. New only happens where safety genuinely matters. The average new car payment in 2026 exceeds $770 monthly. A nurse named Janelle in Phoenix spent a decade leasing luxury sedans at around $900 combined monthly for payment and insurance. She switched to a 5-year-old Honda Accord for $14,000 cash, drove it 4 years, and sold it for $9,000. Her actual transportation cost over those 4 years was roughly $5,000. Her old leasing pattern cost over $43,000 in the same period with nothing to show at the end. The difference of nearly $40,000 invested at 7% over 20 years grows to approximately $150,000. Research on actual millionaire spending confirms this approach. The top vehicle brands among people with high net worth are Toyota, Honda, and Ford, not European luxury makes. The people who could afford anything often choose reliability because they understand what performance actually costs over time. The fourth rule is a quarterly subscription autopsy. Every 3 months I pull up every recurring charge and anything in used in 60 days gets cancelled immediately, not next week, today. Americans spend an average of $219 monthly on subscriptions while estimating their own spending at only $86. That gap represents over $1,500 annually of completely unconscious spending leaving accounts unnoticed every single month. An accountant named Patricia in Charlotte discovered 23 active subscriptions totaling $342 when she did her first audit. She canceled 14 immediately and dropped her monthly total to $118. freeing up nearly $2,700 annually that had been silently disappearing into services she had completely forgotten. Set a calendar reminder for the first weekend of January, April, July, and October every year. Open your statements. Cancel without mercy anything you cannot justify with active use in the past 60 days. The fifth rule protects against the quietest wealth drain in any American household: lifestyle inflation after every raise. Every time my income increases, I split it automatically before it reaches my checking account. 50% goes to investments, 25% to savings, and only 25% becomes available for a lifestyle. Goldman Sachs research found that roughly 41% of Americans earning between $300,000 and $500,000 annually still report living paycheck to paycheck. Lifestyle expands automatically alongside income and leaves nothing at the end of every month regardless of how much you earn. A software engineering manager named Priya in San Francisco watched her income quadruple over 15 years while her savings rate stayed completely stuck at 5% because every raise became a bigger and more expensive lifestyle upgrade. When she finally implemented automatic splitting, over $52,000 from income increases went directly to investments before she could even see it. Her net worth grew by hundreds of thousands not because she earned more but because she stopped letting new money disappear before it was properly secured. The sixth rule applies once a year. Walk through your home and ask one honest question about every meaningful item. If this disappeared tomorrow, would I spend money to replace it? A project manager named Gina in Atlanta applied this test and found roughly 60% of everything she owned failed it completely. The fondue set never used once. The decorative pieces bought during impulsive shopping sessions late at night. The clothes from previous phases of her life she would never return to. She recovered about $3,400 from sales alone, and every remaining item had passed an active conscious test of genuine value. The seventh rule is the one that quietly protects all the others. Define what enough looks like in writing before your income reaches the level where excess becomes genuinely possible. Specific dollar numbers, specific home size, specific vehicle category, specific annual budgets for travel and clothing and dining. Without a clear written definition, desire expands infinitely alongside income and there is never a finish line anywhere in sight. Tamara from Denver wrote her enough definitions when she was earning $70,000 annually. Her income has since grown to over $110,000 and most of that growth has flowed directly to investments because her lifestyle remained anchored to what she defined as genuinely sufficient years earlier. Every income increase would have otherwise been absorbed automatically into a bigger apartment, a newer car, more elaborate vacations, each one feeling individually reasonable while collectively consuming every dollar of the gain. Now the daily habits, because rules create the framework but habits are where money actually moves in real life. The single most important habit is automating investments before you can ever see the money. On the same day every paycheck arrives, a fixed amount leaves automatically into retirement accounts and index funds. There is no decision involved. The money is gone before your spending brain can register it as available to use. Vanguard research confirms that participants who automate contributions reach savings rates nearly double those who manage contributions manually. Automation removes willpower from the equation entirely, and willpower is always finite, but well-designed financial structure is not. The second habit is tracking every single dollar in a physical notebook briefly every evening. Writing physically forces your brain to process each purchase twice, once when you make it and once when you consciously record it. By the end of the first full month, most people identify between $300 and $500 of spending they had absolutely no conscious memory of making throughout the month. The third habit is cooking at home as the clear default and treating restaurants as occasional genuine celebrations rather than daily routine convenience. The average American household spends over $3,600 annually on food away from home. Batch cooking on Sunday afternoons, 2 dedicated hours producing 12 to 14 complete meals for the entire week, drops total food spending by 40 to 50% while eliminating the weeknight decision fatigue that makes expensive delivery feel completely necessary every evening. The fourth habit is creating real friction for spending and genuine ease for saving. Remove stored credit card numbers from every online retailer account. Delete all shopping apps from your phone permanently. Unsubscribe aggressively from every promotional email the moment it arrives because every single one was designed specifically to trigger a purchase you had absolutely no plan to make. Make saving completely frictionless through automatic scheduled transfers and high-yield savings accounts earning 4 to 5% right now in 2026. The fifth habit borrowed directly from Japanese financial culture is the 80% rule. Build your entire monthly spending plan around only 80% of your actual take-home income so that the remaining 20% moves automatically before lifestyle has any opportunity to expand and fill it. The American personal savings rate sits at roughly 4% today, while this single rule targets 20%. On a $60,000 annual salary, that 16-point structural difference represents the gap between saving $2,400 per year and saving $12,000. Over 30 years at 8% annual returns, that one difference becomes the gap between roughly $293,000 and $1.47 million in total accumulated wealth. Identical income, completely different financial outcome. The sixth habit is treating every unexpected windfall as immediate investment fuel without exception. Every tax refund, every work bonus, every birthday gift, every freelance side payment goes directly into investments the same day it arrives. $1 from your annual tax refund compounds in exactly the same powerful mathematical way as $1 arriving from your regular paycheck. Eliminate that mental distinction permanently. All incoming money is investment fuel and nothing else. If this video helped you clearly recognize patterns you have been repeating in your own financial life, please hit like right now so more Americans can find this content and benefit from it. And subscribe to Liana Invests, because I upload brand new financial content every single day breaking down real money principles in plain language that applies directly to American life in 2026. The rules are simple. The habits are completely repeatable by anyone willing to start today. The math is entirely on your side from this moment forward. What happens next is entirely up to you.